I love American people so much. They are fun, great to hang out with, you can have conversation that lasts for days. But what are you doing to Italian food in America? Mamma mia. This needs to stop. For decades, the rest of the world have been told a lie. You go to an Italian restaurant, you order the most famous dishes, and you think you are eating like Julius Caesar. But the truth is, my grandmother would pass out if she sees some of these dishes on Italian menus. Today, I am putting on my Italian culinary police badge. I'm going to expose the 5 biggest lies, myths, and mistakes that Americans get wrong about Italian food. We are going to talk about Alfredo, meatballs, garlic, and the one thing you do after dinner that gives every Italian nightmare. No more fake food. It's time to learn how Italians actually eat Italian food. If you are guilty of number 4, you have to promise me today that you will stop doing that. Mistake number 1, the Alfredo crime. The biggest crime of them all, fettuccine Alfredo. In America, fettuccine Alfredo is a massive bowl of pasta drowning in a gallon of heavy cream, topped with a pound of chicken and maybe some broccoli if you're feeling healthy that night. But listen to me, authentic fettuccine Alfredo from Rome has no cream, zero, absolutely no cream, absolutely no chicken. Putting chicken on pasta in Italy is illegal. Okay, not legally, but it should be. Real Alfredo is a masterpiece made with 2 simple ingredients, Parmigiano Reggiano and butter. And pasta, of course, so 3. That is it. You melt the butter, you toast the hot pasta, and you vigorously mix in the cheese with a little starchy pasta water to create an emulsion. It is creamy, but it has no cream. Stop buying the jars in the supermarket. Throw them away. Mistake number 2, the spaghetti and meatballs illusion. You go to a restaurant, you order spaghetti and meatballs, and they bring you a plate of pasta with 3 giant meatballs the size of my fist sitting on top of the pasta. Italian Americans donors have created the spaghetti meatballs, and that's got a beautiful history, okay? But I'm talking about those bad spaghetti meatballs that offend Italian Americans and Italians in Italy, okay? I'm talking about those giant spaghetti meatballs that make no sense on top of the dry, dead spaghetti. I had to break your heart, but spaghetti and meatballs, the way you know it, it's not an Italian dish. It is an Italian-American invention, which has a beautiful history. But the way it's gone in 2026 and moving forward doesn't represent anyone anymore. In Italy, the meal has a structure. Pasta is the primo piatto, first course. Meat is the second piatto, second course. We don't mix them on the same plate. Yes, in the south, like in my region, Abruzzo, we do make spaghetti meatballs. Province of Teramo, where my grandmother is from, they make tiny meatballs, but they're not made the normal meatballs way, okay? They're tiny meatballs made with 3 ingredients, maybe 4, and then they cooked in the sauce, separate sauce, and then what you do is you get the pasta, put in a basil tomato sugo, and then you serve it, and then you put those tiny meatballs on top of the pasta in the plate. But what happens is every time you have a forchettata of spaghetti, those tiny meatballs are in there, and so you have a beautiful experience in your mouth because you have the meatballs, the pasta, the sauce. But the giant baseball meatballs? No. In Italy, you eat your pasta first. Then the waiter brings you a beautiful plate with just your meatballs, sauce, and some bread. You do need the bread to clean the plate. So respect the structure, please. You don't want to suffocate the pasta with those giant meatballs. Have it as main course. Mistake number 3. The garlic bread overload. You sit down at an American restaurant and before you even look at the menu, they bring you a basket of bread soaked in butter, garlic powder, and parsley. Or a plate of olive oil with balsamic vinegar floating in it to dip your bread. In Italy, this does not exist. Bread is not an appetizer, it's a tool. We use bread for one thing, la scarpetta, to clean the plate. We call it little shoe because it's a little shoe cleaning the plate. We normally do this at the end of the meal when you have that delicious leftover tomato sauce on your plate. You take a piece of crusty bread and you wipe the plate clean. But what you also do, you also use the bread if you have starters such as, I don't know, cheese or prosciutto, salami, or some other dish that require bread. Sometimes you have a stew. Bread goes very well with it. Some people like to use bread with the pasta, okay, but you use the bread to clean the plate at the end. You don't have spaghetti, the sauce, and the bread together. You normally use the bread to clean the plate. By having bread on its own before you actually have a meal, you're filling yourself up and you're missing out on the actual meal. And garlic, we love garlic in Italy, but we use it to flavor the oil and then we take it out. We don't eat raw garlic in every single bite. Balance is the key. Italian food is about balance, not killing vampires. Dracula is not coming for dinner. By the way, I've been living outside of Italy for 20 years and I enjoy garlic bread. And I make it myself. I use extra virgin olive oil, I use garlic, parsley, delicious, okay? I don't have it all the time, but when I do, I try to have it with my meal if it goes well with what I'm eating. But I'm not gonna fill up my belly with garlic bread before the meal. Mistake number 4, the Italian dressing and salad rule. I need you to listen to me carefully. There is no such thing as an Italian dressing. If you come to Italy and ask for Italian dressing, the waiter will look at you like you're an alien. Italian dressing? What is that? It doesn't exist. In Italy, a salad is dressed with extra virgin olive oil, salt, and either a squeeze of fresh lemon or a drop of good vinegar. Sometimes people like to add a lot of vinegar, sometimes less, up to you. I do like a lot of vinegar. No herbs, no sugar, no looking weird yellow chemicals, nothing like that. And more importantly, when do you eat the salad? In America, you eat the huge salad before the pasta. That's so wrong. In Italy, the salad is served after the main course. Why? Because the acidity of the vinegar and the crunch of the greens cleanses your palate and helps you digest all the heavy food you just ate. Salad at the end? Try it. It will change your life forever. Mistake number 5, the cappuccino time. The ultimate sin. You just ate a huge plate of pasta, you had some meat, you had a glass of red wine, you're full. The waiter comes over and asks if you want a coffee. And you say, oh yes, I want a cappuccino. Now, no judgment, okay? Like I normally only have coffee in the morning, I don't have coffee during the day, but I would say Italians have an espresso during the day, 3, 4, 5 times a day. Having cappuccino, do whatever you want. You can have a cappuccino at midnight if you want. You want to drink Negroni with your pasta, do it. No judgment, okay? But it just doesn't go well with and after a pasta. In Italy, cappuccino is a breakfast drink. It is half milk, you drink it in the morning with a croissant or with your eggs, with your bacon if you want to. Why would you put a massive cup of hot frothy milk into your stomach on top of a heavy dinner? It ruins your digestion. If you order a cappuccino 9 p.m. in Rome, they know immediately you're a tourist. You're not trying to blend in. Have an Americano, full coffee with water. A lot better. You don't want espresso too strong? Americano is good. But having the milk, it doesn't make sense. Again, do it. I know lots of people do. I have lots of American friends, international friends, even here in Australia, who do it. I don't judge them because their stomach must be hard. I do tours in Italy. I have lots of Americans coming. I have a great time with them. They want their coffee. I know they want the coffee after a meal. I know they want the cappuccino. And I do go through the difficult time asking the waiter, please bring cappuccino for everyone. And they are fine with it. You know, if I do it, I think I feel sick. But they have steel stomachs. Well done. But so, after dinner, if you really want your coffee, there is only one acceptable answer. Un caffè, per favore. An espresso. It is a shot of pure dark energy that wakes you up from your food coma and helps you to digest. Small, strong, and perfect. Just try it. You know, again, maybe try to avoid the cappuccino. Go for the Americano. Just because I don't want you to have a bad reaction and then you blame the pasta. Especially if you go to an American restaurant and you have a creamy Alfredo with chicken and garlic bread and then you have a cappuccino. You're putting lots of pressure on your stomach. Look, I'm not saying you cannot enjoy your American Italian food. If you love chicken on your Alfredo, eat it. I cannot force you not to, but just don't call it Italian or authentic Italian. Definitely not. Authentic Italian food is about simplicity. It's about letting a few high-quality ingredients speak for themselves, without burying them in cream and chicken and garlic powder and fake dressing that we don't need. Now, I want to know, how many of these 5 mistakes or sins are you guilty of? Tell me the truth in the comment below. Please be honest. Nobody's gonna judge you here. I just wanna know. And this is gonna help me understand more your palate. Look, I've been living in Australia for a very long time, and I have learned that Australians have a very unique palate because we have over 200 nationalities here. So Australians actually get to eat food from all over the world, okay? Australians really mix a lot of flavors. So their palate changed so much and adapting so much that it's insane. So they love very unique flavors because they have a very unique palate, and we cannot judge what they like. For example, the Vegemite, something that now I enjoy, but it took me a while to enjoy. The Vegemite is very popular in Australia, and people around the world, as soon as you smell it, you go, no, yuck. But again, the Australians have built this unique palate that allow them to eat those, call it weird or call it different flavors, because their palate can accept it. An Italian who's been eating Italian or Mediterranean food struggles to have something very different and the opposite of what they normally do because their palate is not used to it. Okay? And Americans, I believe, are very similar to Australians because you have food from around the world in America, and so your palate, you go from Mexican to Japanese to Chinese to American barbecues to Lebanese to whatever. But still, to me, it doesn't make sense. You need these additions when a dish could be made simple, with simple ingredients. You can maximize those flavors. Maybe the fault is the ingredients, it's not good enough. But you don't always need strong flavors. Sometimes you need to appreciate the simplicity of genuine, fresh ingredients. I hope this makes sense. I hope this video helps. Please let me know again what you think. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I will see you on the next Vincenzo's Plate video recipe. E ora si mangia Vincenzo's Plate.